Imagine being a predator that has prowled the ocean since before the first tree ever grew on land. Today we're looking at 30 mind-blowing things you probably didn't know, including the bizarre reason why every single astronaut has to go back to school to learn a specific language. But you'll want to stick around for number 21, because it completely changes the way you look at one of the world's most common snacks. I'm Kevin from Know Your Deets, and here are 30 incredible facts to make your day. Most people think of sharks as modern predators, but they are actually biological survivors that have been around for over 400 million years. This means sharks are officially older than trees, which didn't appear on Earth until about 350 million years ago. In the state of Arizona, there is a very specific piece of legislation known as the Stupid Motorist Law. This allows the state to fine drivers who intentionally drive through flooded areas and end up needing an emergency rescue at the taxpayer's expense. If you're a fan of wordplay, you'll appreciate this perfect coincidence. The word schoolmaster is a direct anagram of the phrase the classroom. We often think of hibernation as a winter-only activity, but many animals do the exact opposite. Known as estivation, some species of desert animals and snails sleep through the hottest months of summer to conserve energy and stay hydrated in the heat. The world of high finance is more unpredictable than you might think. At one point, a chimpanzee was officially ranked as the 22nd most successful money manager in the United States after its random stock picks actually outperformed some of the top professionals on Wall Street. While most dogs are known for their loud barks, the Basenji breed from Central Africa is the only one that doesn't bark at all. Instead, they produce a unique sound that is often described as a yodel, due to the unusual flat shape of their larynx. Ravens are far more intelligent than we give them credit for. Research has shown that these birds are highly aware of their surroundings and can actually tell when another bird or a human is spying on them, causing them to hide their food more carefully. Sean Connery wasn't the only aging star considered for action roles. Believe it or not, Frank Sinatra was offered the starring role of John McClane in Die Hard when he was in the 70s due to a contract clause from a previous film. In terms of sheer volume, the average American produces a staggering 2.22 kilograms or 4.9 pounds of trash every single day. Over the course of a full year, that adds up to nearly 816 kilograms or 1,800 pounds of waste generated by just one single person. If you've ever felt your phone buzz in your pocket, only to find no notification, you aren't alone. Studies show that 9 out of 10 people experience phantom phone vibrations, a psychological phenomenon where our brains misinterpret a slight muscle twitch as a digital alert. While we usually see geese in parks, the police in certain rural areas of China actually use them as sentries. Geese are highly territorial, have incredible hearing, and are often more aggressive and louder than guard dogs when an intruder approaches. Steve Jobs was famous for his quirks, including a belief that his strict fruit-based diet eliminated his body odor. Because of this, he famously thought he didn't need to wear deodorant or shower regularly, much to the surprise of his early co-workers at Apple. If you are a citizen of Bosnia, Serbia, or Montenegro, you don't necessarily have to wait until you're 18 to vote. In these countries, you can legally head to the polls at age 16, provided you're already employed and paying your taxes. One man pushed the limits of fashion and physics by setting a world record for wearing the most t-shirts at once. He managed to pull on 260 shirts simultaneously, ending up with a torso so wide he could barely move his arms or neck. In a massive act of global philanthropy, Bill and Melinda Gates have donated more than $100 billion to various causes over the last 25 years. Their contributions have targeted global health, poverty reduction, and expanded education across the entire world. The 2007 release of the video game Halo 3 was such a cultural phenomenon that it actually scared Hollywood. Film executives blamed the game's massive launch for a significant drop in movie theater attendance during its opening week. Modern men's dress shirts used to be much more practical than they are today. The collars were originally detachable, allowing men to wash just the collar, the part that gets dirty the fastest, rather than laundering the entire shirt, which saves significant time and money. Evolution is a slow process, but physics is on the side of the insects. Because of their tiny mass and incredible tough exoskeleton, an ant cannot die from falling from any height. Their terminal velocity simply isn't high enough to cause a fatal impact. In Japan, punctuality is taken so seriously that if a train leaves the station even a few seconds at the wrong time, the rail company will issue a formal apology to the passengers for the inconvenience caused to their schedule. If you ever find yourself in Ireland, you can grab a pint at Sean's Bar, which is officially the oldest pub in the country. It has been in continuous operation for more than 1100 years, dating all the way back to 900 AD. The bananas we eat today are sterile clones, but natural wild bananas are quite different. In the wild, bananas are filled with large hard seeds that make them much more difficult to eat than the smooth yellow fruit we find at the grocery store. Scientists in California have found a way to turn winter weather into electricity. They developed a specialized device that can harness power from falling snow by using the static charge created when the snow hits a specially treated silicone surface. You've heard of the Baseball Hall of Fame, but there's actually a fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame. It honors the greatest characters from movies and literature, including icons like Rocky Balboa, Mr. Miyagi, and Happy Gilmore. Space travel requires a lot of studying, regardless of where you are from. Every astronaut who travels to the International Space Station is required to learn how to speak Russian, as it is the primary language used in certain sections of the station. Reindeer have a biological superpower that helps them survive the Arctic. They are one of the few mammals capable of seeing in ultraviolet light, which allows them to spot white-furred predators or patches of moss against the blinding white snow. We often think of koalas as cuddly and wise, but they are actually among the least intelligent mammals. Their brains are incredibly small and smooth, and they often fail to recognize eucalyptus leaves if they aren't attached to a branch. While $100 bills are the norm today, the US government used to print much larger denominations for the public. The largest bill ever put into general circulation was the $10,000 note. Survival stories don't get much more intense than the man who was struck by a car and thrown 36 meters or 118 feet through the air. Despite the massive distance and the force of the impact, he managed to survive the ordeal. Fans of J.R.R. Tolkien might be surprised to learn that a Soviet-era version of The Lord of the Rings exists. Produced in 1991, this television adaptation is famous for its low-budget special effects and is often described by fans as downright woeful. Pizza lovers take note. The world record for the cheesiest pizza ever created involved a pie topped with 1001 different varieties of cheese. It was a culinary masterpiece that required an incredible amount of sourcing to ensure every single cheese was unique. Which of these facts shock you the most? If you're going to be thinking about that 1001 cheese pizza all day, hit the like button and let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And as always, thank you for watching and you have a great day.